Seems to be pretty good. Let's mute Twitch. Send out the Twitter. Get everything joined up. And we are good. So, hello everyone. This is Chris Ingerson, and it is April 28th. And this is the April 28th TextQuest Devstream. So, it's Saturday. We are going to be looking at custom adventures today. Specifically, I want to create a custom adventure and then play through it. And I don't want to play through it in the actual custom adventure editor. I want to try to make as complex a custom adventure as I can, see what I can get done there, see what the pain points are in the current system, save that out, and then load that in and play it inside of the actual play custom adventures menu. So let's go ahead and jump in here. For the most part, we're not going to be able to do this all in one smooth motion. I know that our custom adventure selection is not actually set up to do anything yet. It will generate custom adventures based on custom adventure files that you have, but it won't actually like open them up and get them ready for play. So that's something that we're going to have to set up today. Also, this is something that I don't really know what's going on here, but the cabin is incredibly intense when it loads in. Like, it has a huge lag spike. I am not sure why. So let's see. We're going to go to extras, and we want to go to author mode. So what we would normally do is to play, we would say play, and then that generates a list of existing custom adventures that you have. But we're not going to do anything yet because, I mean, if I click on this, nothing actually happens. Notice that it's just nothing. So we're going to go back. We're going to create a completely new game. We're going to go through here and just see what everything, make sure that the whole workflow works, that things feel right, and that we don't have any unnecessary difficulties. All right, so custom game. What would be a good custom game name? I guess we'll call it Dunshire. For some reason, I was thinking of Cones of Dunshire from Parks and Recreation, which I guess means that the creator would have to be named Adam, even though it's me, obviously. That'd be Adam Scott, which is funny because I don't remember his actual character's name on Parks and Recreation, but I remember Adam Scott. So as far as game type goes, we can only do classic. We don't have graphical right now. Save path. This is... Let's see. Let's go ahead and create a new folder. Which, that is not what that did. Okay. Interesting. Oh, you know what it is? It's an order issue. Shoot. Okay. That was probably not great. I'm actually curious to see. Let's see. Unity, TextQuest, build, TextQuest, custom. Make sure we weren't just, okay, so we weren't just spamming new ones. Let's go here to UI, view container, and file, here it is, create directory. They are the same, because of course they are. This probably should be a modal, now that I think about it. Let's go ahead and make that 25, and we'll drag it down manually. Okay, there we go. So folder name, yeah, this should definitely be a modal, not a built-in thing, or not a menu. We'll call this Dunshire. Confirm. All right. We'll set this as dunshire.ctba. Hit save. All right. Oh, crud. Really? We have... You'll notice that our save file does not have the slash in here, which probably means it's going to be saved as dunshire.ctba. But we'll find out. Boom! Called it. Okay, so we already got 2 problems so far. Looking good, looking good. Well, let's go ahead and... Do we want to do anything in game settings before... Let's see. What will our start text be? Actually, no, we'll come back to this after we start setting up uh, our actual map. So let's go ahead and make a description. So this will be a test custom adventure set in the hills of Dunshire. I guess that should be a capital D. And I guess a capital H, I feel. I have no idea what the actual lore of the Hills of Dunshire is, so I'm just going to make stuff up. Okay, so that seems correct. Let's go ahead and go back. Do we have any variables that I want? Probably not yet, because we can't really do anything with variables right now. Any interactions? Not yet. I can't do custom dictionary yet either, so we'll go ahead and go to our map. All right. What do we got for warnings? There's no starting room set, and there's no end room set. Okay, so let's address those. And we're going to say new room. We have no end room right now, so let's go ahead and make another new room. And you know what? I'm actually curious. Do these always go in the same spot, or do these go like where I'm looking? Oh, cool. They go right where I'm looking. So let's delete this room. Delete this room. I was worried about that. It is not recycling them properly. So, shoot. Really? Are we getting any errors here? Nope. It's just not doing anything with it. Interesting. Okay, well, so this is another thing that we have problematic. Oh man, it's just like not doing anything with them. See, now I'm worried. Let's go back. Let's go back to author mode, create. Ooh. There is also a thing. So apparently, if there's no image for our preview image, then it will simply use whatever image has been set already. So that's problematic. Probably should have a temp file for that. And let's go back here to the map. Okay, now we're back to just the rooms that we have. So, wow, we have a lot of things that are busted. So I am going to, give me a second. I'm going to do a couple of things. We're going to keep a rolling tally of this stuff because there is a lot. Okay, so let's go ahead and focus all this stuff up. So we're going to say custom adventure issues. We'll keep track of these things. And also, I guess, give attention to the cat because she wants so much attention. So first thing is going to be save path doesn't handle subdirectory paths correctly. Okay, and then after that we have, let's see, I'm going to make every little note that I can think of, and that's going to be things like settings background is too transparent, because right now it kind of gets cluttered. What else? Map doesn't recycle deleted room nodes. And I'm assuming that's what's happening there, because backing all the way out and then coming in seems to have fixed that. Let's see, what else is there? Cat, you don't need to be up on the keyboard. Not while I'm working. Oh, that's three big things right now. Let's see. What was just... let's see. Oh, right, I also need to port these guys to use the new drag system. Okay, let's make that note. Map nodes use old drag system. Oh, I guess I should also go ahead and say create directory menu should be modal. Got tons of stuff already. Before I do anything else, let's go over here. Is there something else with game settings? That's largely fine. Okay, so let's go back to. Oh, right. Let's see. What is it? Uh, Adventure preview. Oh, I can't spell preview. Image does not update if the adventure has no preview image. Parentheses will show whatever image was set last. Okay. So some pretty nasty ones. Some are easier to fix than others. And then this happens occasionally, the incorrect positioning, which I don't think actually throws errors, does it? Yeah, it just doesn't do what it should. Well, for the time being, we'll call this, let's see. Let's say that there's going to be 7 hills, and we're going to try to get from one hill to the next. So let's say first hill. Okay. The description. You stand atop, Adam, atop a small hill. To the north lie. Pretty sure that's the correct lie that I want to use. To the north lies 6. What size? 6 more hills, each a different size. Okay, so this is going to be our start room. We don't want a background image yet, mostly because I don't really have one. For now, we'll go ahead and hit close. Actually, no, let's go ahead and add an exit. New room will be our target. It will be to the north. Okay. Let's go ahead and hit close here. All right, we have our first thing set up. Now let's change this room. This will be the second hill. Second hill. Let's see. So the first hill will basically just be a, it'll be empty, so you can move forward. We might put items in the first one, maybe. But the second hill will probably have just a basic key and door test. Well, that won't work. We don't have any way currently of blocking progress, so I can't. Okay, so current limitation. Cannot block progress through exit based on data ID values. That's a terrible way of saying that, based on progression flags. Okay. Let's see. So the second hill is going to be you are standing on a hill covered in blue grass. Let's see. Man, I guess I can't really do anything super exciting if all I can do is, if I can't really gate your progress, if you can just go from room to room. That is most disappointing, isn't it? Well, then we'll probably shorten this to 3 hills. Let's see. It's not a start room. It's not an exit room. We do have an exit to the south, which is going to be the first hall, or the first hill. Go ahead and close this. So we're doing well so far. Let's change this. To the north lies more hills, each a different size. Close here. Let's move this in. Drag this around. Let's go ahead and say room. go ahead and we'll mark this as an exit room. Call this one the final hill. And we'll say you stand victorious. That'd be victoriously on the highest hill. You have conquered the... Is that actually how you spell conquered? I don't think that is. I guess it's ER, not OR. I was thinking of conqueror, not conquered. Conquered. You have conquered the hills of... capital H, obviously. Hills of Dunshire. Okay, we don't have any audio that I want to set up right now, although I will probably pull some in. Interactions, nothing really, so let's go ahead and hit close here. And we're just going to do a basic northern exit to the final hall. Hit close here. Okay, so this is our structure. We have a start room, a middle room, and then an end room. Let's see. There's no... Oh, interesting. Our warnings did not reset. Interesting. Let's see. Warnings in the map view will not update unless the warning tab has been toggled? Question mark. Because I'm not entirely sure if that's the case, but it seems to have been the case. Okay, so let's go ahead and I guess outside of this, I'm going to want to create some test images and some audio, which I don't remember if OGG files work or not. I think WAV files work currently, but not MP3s, and I believe OGGs might work. Okay, so let's go ahead and quit. Let's go ahead and go back. Go to author mode. We go to play. So you can see that we have Dunshire. It does seem to actively update. Oh, right. This always throws me. A test custom adventure set in the hills on Dunshire. Oh, I said on, not of Dunshire. And then, of course, hitting play doesn't do anything. So, okay, that's a good place to stop because we have several things to fix. So, let's start with moving the directory menu, or the create directory menu, to be a game modal instead of a game view. So if we go over to, let's see, create directory, which is nowhere to be found. Create Okay. Then I guess we will play through that and try to create a new one so that we can see where it goes and where that's coming from. Oh man, freaking ridiculous lag. Okay, so we're going to go to extras, author mode. So I'm going to have to create a new one. Interesting. So this time it seems like the background image is correct. When we come here, it's not. Oh, you know what it is? I bet I'm going to try this. I'm going to go back. I'm going to create. Yeah, okay. So what's happening isn't that it's not updating the image, it's that the image is not being updated on this button. So when it highlights over it, it caches. It's supposed to cache the button or the image that it loads on the button. But since it doesn't have a new button or a new image associated with Dunshire, it can't change this one out. So actually, let's go ahead and update that real quick. Actually, doesn't update button cached image. So let's go ahead and make new. I'm going to set safe path. Okay. Now, what are you? Oh, right, wrong thing. That's what I wanted. Okay. View container, create directory, new directory view. That's what I called it. Okay. So let's go ahead and see where that is. New directory view, which I guess is called file or view dash create directory. Which there it is. Okay. Let's go ahead, come over here. Okay. I'm going to make this not a game view, but a game modal. Okay. And this is where it's going to be fun. Override. Open. And let's see. We want game modal options here. Let's go over here. Let's find all references to this. It's going to break some things. File save view. File save view. Oh, right. This stuff is in common, so it's going to be a little. That's that's also why I did that. Okay. And nuts to it. I'm going to go ahead and make it TextMesh Pro instead of the old input methods. That explains why the labels were wrong. Okay. Let's go ahead and override the other open. All right. We're going to go ahead and say, let's see, up here, using TM Pro. Oh, and you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to do coding. Haha. And do I want to do anything else? It's going to be a coding heavy day, I think. Okay. Let's see. In addition to all of that, let's go ahead and try to get these things out. We will call base.open, which I believe should set everything up. That's fine. I'm not actually sure I need anything in open. I really don't, actually, so I can probably just leave these as is. Let's see. Confirm button and cancel button. Not a thing we need. So let's go ahead and let's see, refresh confirm button. That is okay. You know what? It might just be easier to actually go ahead and do this. Make this a game view. I'm just going to make a new class for this, and then we'll swap them out. That, I think, will be the better way to go. So let's go to, do I want to call this views, or do I want to say like modals? Game view, do I? Okay, there we are. Here we are. So let's go ahead and say create folder view. No, come on. Create create directory. Okay, so I'm going to say right click, create C# script, create directory modal. Okay. And our actual create directory doesn't really have much. It's just the input field and then the confirm and cancel buttons. Okay, so these are game, nope, not game views, game modals. And let's see, we are going to want to say, using TM Pro, so we'll say serialize field, private TMP input field. I'm not entirely sure what I would want to call that. I guess we would say, oh, right, name field. I'll go ahead and tooltip this. So this is the input field that displays the name of the directory being created. All right. We don't need anything else besides that, really, because the buttons get spawned in via options. So we're going to want to say, oh, yeah, this is, okay. Maybe modal isn't a good option, actually. Because it's, oh no, I guess I'll just have to override the event that gets returned. So we'll go up here. We're going to say public. You know what? I don't even need to do that. I can just come down here, say private system dot action, passing back a string, and we'll say create callback. Set that equal to null by default. Okay, so we are going to need override this and then override this, except these are not actually going to be overrides. They are instead going to be regular ones that take, oh, an int and a string. That's what it is, int and string. Or string. We'll set this as null. Okay. So int comma string. Set this as null. Oops. It is not override. And everything else should be fine. And let's go ahead and come over here. We're going to say create callback is equal to selection callback. Same thing here. Okay, and then of course, in addition to that, we're going to need to say override on button clicked into option, peak definition. We should call close if selected callback does not equal null, which it will because it's not going to be used here. So we'll call base, and then we'll say pretty much this exact same thing. So I'm just going to copy this, and then we're going to adjust it slightly. Okay. Let's see. What did I call it? Create callback? Yeah. Create callback. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we're going to pass in string. We're going to do is equal to create callback. And then it will be option followed by name field dot text. Okay. And let's see. Oh, I hate it when it does that. Automatically throws in the system part. Cat, yes, I know. You want attention. It's fine. Oh, there it is. I hate it when it automatically adds using. So it added a call to using system whenever I did these overrides, and that it messes up how I do things. I try to stay away from system unless I actually need to, unless the class is going to be using a lot of system stuff. Otherwise, I try to just do the system.action type approach. Mostly because system has a few variable, well, a few object and class names that conflict with Unity's stuff. So they can get confused, and then you have to be very specific about which one you meant, and it can trip you up if you're not careful. Okay, so a couple things. I should probably wrap these in not if, or if not is open. So if not is open, come back here. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing. If not is open. Okay, that's that. And wow, that's like pretty much it, huh? Okay, we will go ahead and let's make a modal prefab, I suppose. We'll probably drag in the actual view. And then in addition to that, we're going to want to have the base modal prefab, probably. Oh, and one of the other things that I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make the crap, what is it? The preview image, a scalable image, which is a class I came up with to automatically scale a image to fill its parent rect. But by doing that, we should be able to have it basically. What's the? I want to phrase that. Have a border that will size with the image, regardless of whatever size of image is, which will let our preview. Well, maybe that's not a good idea. Well, we'll get to that when we get to it. For now, I'm going to drag in the game modal. Okay, let's turn both of these things on so I can easily see them. And for the game modal, I'll actually turn that off. Folder name, enter folder name. Okay. Let's go ahead and we're going to pull in our create directory modal. We will have our root. Show cursor on close. That is perfectly fine. Message label. Here's where things are going to get funky. Let's go ahead and, oh right, we're going to want to copy those. Ugh. I really wish I could just copy like these values. That would be very, very nice. So let's go ahead and do that. This one is full black. Okay. Just go ahead and copy this. All right. Color multiplier is 1. Fade duration is always 0.2. Let's see. This is probably because I don't actually specify that stuff. I bet if I did that, it would automatically handle it for me. So let's go over here. Is it because of color blocks? It is. Cool. So I can actually specify those colors by default, I think. So color multiplier is going to be equal to 1F, followed by fade duration being equal to 0.2F. So at the very least, those can be set. Let's go for normal color is equal to color.black, followed by highlighted color is equal to new color. I think it's 0.5 across the board. And then 1F, followed by pressed color being equal to new color, presumably something like 0.25. 0.25F, 25F, then 1F, and then following that up with disabled color is equal to new color. Okay, and this is, I believe, 0.25F, 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 and 0.6f. Okay. So those are roughly what I would expect those values to be. I could be completely wrong here. Yeah, 100 is actually closer to... Ugh, I'm not really sure. It's not half, though. 50 is closer to... Let's see... 0.2, probably? Which would mean 0.4 for everything else. So let's change that. So 0.4, 0.4, 0.4, 0.2. Cool. Go ahead and let that compile. It's just a nice thing to have that already set up, so I don't have to constantly redo it. All right, let's go ahead and say we need to set up our message label, amongst other things. So we are going to need a message label, a title label, which I guess would go at the top. Under our current game modal, I believe we have a title label followed by a divide. Yep. Probably stick to that. And then we'll also have a message and then the folder name, enter folder name. So this will be a little larger vertically. Not by much, but enough to fit, all the relevant labels that we need. So let's go ahead and we're going to... Should I try to just... For visual consistency, it might be easier for me to move this. So let's move this over to game modal. We'll grab our content label, and we'll just start moving things around. Title label, button grid, modal button. Okay, and everything else is as expected. So let's go ahead and get rid of this game modal. We'll call this, I guess, modal dash create directory. And before I do anything else, I will go ahead and make that a prefab so that I don't forget about that. Let's go ahead and say folder scripts, create folder prefabs. So I'm just going to go ahead and make this a prefab. That way I don't accidentally apply changes to a base class. Okay. From there, we're going to want to do a couple of things. So let's go ahead and collapse you and turn you off. We're going to need to have our title pretty much where that is. That's fine. Content. This is where things are going to get a little more iffy. I think we're going to want to limit this to 0.5y like that. Probably have you be left justified, I want to say, and then 25 in from the left and the right. All right, probably that's fine having it be centered. Let's go ahead and add a, well, it's pretty much just going to be this. So let's turn this on. That sucks. Okay. Bah. Hold on. We'll make this stretch like that, have it go up 2.5, and then we will call this input. Let's go ahead and right click UI, TextMesh Pro input field. We're going to have to pull all that crap over. Let me think. Can I change this actually so that I... Maybe. I'm trying to think of where I currently have an input field that I can just steal from. So I got a few. They're all over the place, but I need one very specific type, which might not exist. Does it really not? All right. We'll do this by hand. So I'm going to call this the folder name field. Okay. It's not going to be automatic. Never should be. I won't give it a transition either. Let's go ahead and we're going to say give it a different background. It's going to be a solid. Okay. Go ahead and turn this off. Our next thing after the field is going to be a rect mask 2D, which will have an image. I actually wonder if this will do what I expect. I've not applied an image and a rect mask 2D on the same thing before, so I'm curious. Yeah, it seems to work. All right, go ahead and make that black, and we will have it stretch in 5, 5, 5, and 5, and let's see, placeholder. All that stuff's fun. Okay, let's have this. This is the actual input field. It's probably fine, question mark. Yeah, alright, it's fine. We're going to have this stretch all the way across the bottom. We will have it be... Actually, you know what? It's probably better if we just did like this. Okay. And let's change our font size to 24. I'm assuming that's not actually even close to what this was. So let's say name input field. It is not sized. So let's go ahead and go to text. 32. Okay. 32 it is. 32. Let's go ahead and make sure that it's using the correct font asset. So 8-bit font. It is going to be standard. Let's do alphanumeric. So no special characters. That's probably for the best so it doesn't trip anything up. Let's see. After that, we need to go to our placeholder. We're going to say enter folder name. We are not going to do faux italics. And instead, we will simply have these guys be anchored. 10 from the left, 5 from the top. Okay, there we go. I think that's good. Enter folder name. Doing pretty well so far. Let's go ahead and create a UI, text mesh pro text. That's going to go above this. It's going to be stretched out, go down to 0.5, be aligned to the left and to the bottom. And we're going to make sure that it's the correct font, of course. We'll call this folder name, colon. And let's see, 36, probably a bit much. Let's nerf that to like 20. Nope. 32. 32 it is. Just rename this label. Okay, so now we get some fun stuff. We're going to want probably this to be actually like 0.55 and this to be 0.45. Give us a little bit of space between those. Let's have our label be 50. Okay, how about 25 from the left and then 25 from the right. I think that's pretty good. Let's also, do we want to have a limitation on how many characters you can type here? Probably not. Although I'll probably limit it to something like 64. That seems like a decent character limit. Maybe 128. I doubt it'll. I can't really think of someone creating a super long name, but I figured, Okay, so I think we're pretty much where I would expect. Yes, that's probably fine. I think we are going to actually push this up to 0.6 and move this up as well. No. Probably what we'll do is we'll make this 0.5 and we'll make this background, the content, be from the bottom. 175. Ooh, not that. Okay. How about 150? That seems a little better, I think. Okay. Let's see what this looks like, I guess. We're going to create directory, make sure that we have the actual input field in there. Default size. Oh. Right. 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 What do we want our default size to be? 800 by 500, I guess. Seems a bit much. Can we shorten you to 400? Ooh my. No. We cannot. We can do 4,500, I think. And let's also go ahead and change this so it's, so we have 0.5. Let's change this back to 75 then. Maybe that's enough. All right. Let's go ahead and close this stuff. Let's see, is everything in there? Panel is 800 by 450. Okay, let's collapse this. We're going to select that, make sure it's the correct director or the correct modal. We'll hit apply. All right, so that should essentially let us treat that like a pop-up now. Let's turn off this UI. We're going to go to the actual prefab for that. We're going to add that modal. Let's see, create directory. Okay, so save. And we're going to change any reference to create our new directory view, I guess is what it was. New directory view. Let's open this up. Find all references. File save view. Okay. So we have a couple of things. Let's see. On new folder clicked. Okay, we open that all up. On folder canceled. And on folder created. Oh, that's funny. On folder created doesn't ever clear those references. Oops. Oh no, I guess I do. It does. It cancels them there. That's fair. Okay, so we want this to change a little bit. We will do this. We're going to say private void on folder. Wow, that is not at all what I wanted to do. On folder selected. On folder action selected. That will give us an int selection and a string, the path. Okay, so we're going to say if selection is equal to 0, then we're going to do something with the path. Do this, that current path. Let's peek that definition. Is equal to the initial path plus the local path, which is not actually great. Let's go to peek definition of that, because I don't think it actually loads our... Yeah, there we go. So I need to do this. Oh wait, no, the directory is fine. The directory creation was worked just fine. It was the file creation that didn't work the way we expected. So this is fine. Let's also go ahead and say here, comment this out, comment you out, and we're going to say, oh, you know what, actually, we also go over here to create directory modal. I kind of want to have namefield.text be equal to a default text, which is new folder, I guess. But that doesn't really work. So, oh yeah, something else we need to do here. I need to say and not string dot is null or empty path. Make sure that we don't return an empty path. We probably should also have warnings for if a file or if a folder already exists, but we're not going to worry about that for now. We're kind of going to just steam ahead. Let's see here. So we have our new folder thing. I'm not going to worry about that actually. But on close, we do want to clear that. So we're going to say override close. Base.close I think does a couple of things. That's fine. We'll go ahead and say if is open. And then we're going to say, of course, no, that's not going to be a thing. We're not going to clear our create callback. I'm going to set my name field dot text is equal to nothing. Okay, then we will go back over here to file save view, create directory, blah blah blah. That seems to work. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is say create directory modal. Modal is equal to UI.get modal. Create directory modal. Okay. Then we're going to say modal dot. Crap. Right, hold on. Let's go up here. File save view. This is all fun. I'm not. Interesting. I almost want to actually have default options that I can set on the modal in case it doesn't have custom ones set and it can just use these defaults. That could be pretty nice. So that would be a nice new piece of functionality added to game modal. Oh, cool. Default size isn't used ever. That's nice. Oh, and I can get rid of you. Yeah, right, let's do that. I don't think that'll actually be that hard for us to come up with. So I'm going to go ahead and say serialized field, protected, game modal option, default options equal to new option 0. We'll go ahead and tooltip this and say, how do I want to phrase this? Default buttons to, default options to show if custom options are not passed when opening the modal. Okay, so basically this just lets me have shorthand, so I won't have to constantly do things like OK and cancel. I can just let it have its own default options and then have things calling it not specify if they don't need to. Let's see. Couple of things. We are going to want default options to be used if this is not set up. So what is the best way to handle that? Probably we want to do something like woof. I guess, jeez, be like this. If, wow, not that. That's completely wrong. If options.length is greater than 0, then we'll do all this fun stuff. Let's go ahead and clear this. We're going to do this up here. Actually, before I do that, let's make sure that options aren't even being used here. Good, they are not. That is not great naming, though. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. And then we're going to say else. So if we don't have any options passed in, then we're going to say generate buttons based on default options. And then we will say this. Foreign ties less than default options dot length. Oops. Add default options by dot text. Okay. That is, I think, something that will work pretty well. Actually, you know what? Don't want to do that. Pretty much everything is the same, right? Yeah. Okay. Nah, this is fine. We'll keep them in parity. So we're pretty much going to do the exact same thing here. Copy this. Move this down. We'll say paste that in. Then we're going to get rid of this. I guess we'll comment it out for now. Okay. Do that. Cool. So that should let us use default stuff now. I quite like that. Quite like that. And now we can, let's see, where are my, here we are. So for this, we're just going to say modal dot on, oh crap, what is it, button, seriously? Modal dot, what are my options here? There should be an event that I can listen for. Oh, right, I pass in a callback, duh. Silly me. So we're going to say modal dot open, giving it, let's see. So we're going to give it a message, which will be select, oh, well, no. Create a new folder. Oh, geez. I don't know if I should tell you where you're going to create it, like give it the directory, but this is fine for now. On folder action selected, followed by a title, which is create folder, and then we're not going to give it anything, which is actually a terrible thing because it's ambiguous. Oh my goodness, that is so disappointing. That is really, really, really disappointing. That's the problem with ambiguity. Frack. Okay. That is why params can be annoying sometimes. Shoot. Really? I can't even pass in like null. I have to pass it something. No. Okay, that sucks. That sucks a lot. Actually, no. Maybe I can do this. Oh shit! No, I don't want to do that. Ugh. That sucks. The annoying thing is, like, I might have just, I don't really need to do this param stuff. I did it in case I ever want to only pass in one option, which very rarely happens. But that sucks. That sucks a lot. So for now, I guess we'll just manually create our options that we need. say serialize. Really? Oh, well, that would be why. Yep. Using Unity Engine. Serialize field. Private. Game modal option. Create folder. Option is equal to new. Game modal option. Let's give it text of create folder, and then color. Let's say we'll color .green. I think seems fine. Then of course we'll serialize field private game modal option. Cancel folder option is equal to new game modal option cancel followed by color dot black, I think is what I would want there. We'll come back down here. We'll give it the create folder option, then cancel folder option. Okay. I think we're pretty well off there. That's pretty much all we needed. So I probably could just actually roll that into one line, which we'll probably eventually do, but for now, let's see. File name field, blah, blah, blah. That's all fine. Okay, I think this is what we need, and it should work. So File Explorer. Let's see. Selection scroll, path scroll. Should get some new fields here. Okay. So we'll go ahead and have our active color be like a grayish. Okay, I think we are good. So let's give this a shot and see what happens. So I should be able to create a new, make sure that the modal is there, it is. Should be able to create a new file, and it should now pop up as a game modal instead of being a game view, which means that it should always render on top. We won't get those sorting issues. I think I'm probably going to delete my save files too, by the way, just so that I don't have this annoying lag spike whenever I come into the cabin level. Let's go to extras, author mode, create, say new, nice, and shoot. What happened here? Did it? Oh, dang it. That's why. Wait, no. Why didn't? Yeah, it should have. That should have worked. Because we call get modal and then we call open, which peak calls base open, which should turn itself on. So let's try that again. Although before I do, I am going to go ahead and get rid of my saves here. So now we shouldn't have that kind of annoying lag when we log in. Okay. Click through here, hit start, extras, author mode, create, new, set save path. Okay, did it pull it in and did we get errors? We didn't get errors, so modal container, it's here. What? Let's turn this off. What is going on? Whoa. Okay, never mind. Whew. Oh. Wait, no, this is correct. Go Go to definition if we're not open, which should just be if our root is not active, which it's not. Wait, it might be. I might have done something stupid. Modal. No. Okay. Interesting. I guess let's just see if this even gets called. Debug.log test. I'm not really entirely sure why it would spawn but then be disabled immediately. That's kind of odd. We're not doing anything with close, I wouldn't think. Let's find out. Well, while that's happening, trying to think of exciting stuff that I did recently. I managed to go see Infinity War yesterday, which was pretty good, actually. I wasn't sure what to expect going in. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a fun romp or if it was going to just be kind of like the same mediocre schlock that they've been putting out recently, I felt. I guess I can't really speak for everything they've put out recently. I haven't seen Black Panther yet, admittedly. Let's go to create, new, set save path, and then boom, there it is. Nothing is logging out, which means that I'm doing something wrong. Specifically, let's see, on new folder clicked. I guess let's go ahead and say debug.log test2, or let's call this test1 and call the other one test2. Create directory modal, go to definition. We'll make this be test1A. That should be correct. Not really sure what else I could do there, so let's just go ahead and let that compile. Did I do something stupid where like this isn't being called anymore? Find all references. No, it's totally being called. Interesting. So we're getting to here and then it's failing. Maybe get modal is, excuse me, opening it by mistake. No, that doesn't seem to be the case. Interesting. But yeah, Infinity War was pretty good. I think I think it was important that they did not mess up Infinity War, because that would have been quite embarrassing. And it was a pretty good time. I didn't really see anything that was like super wowing in terms of visual effects. Like, I mean, everything's gorgeous, obviously, because it's it's. I think I looked it up with a friend of mine. The budget's like $300 million for this one movie, which is insanity, I must say. But because at that certain point, you kind of expect everything to look pretty, right? Okay, so we get to test 1, but we don't get to test 2, which is making me think that its root is not open, or not enabled. Or it is enabled, I guess. Let's go to modal container. What is our root? Oh, it's self-contained. There we go. There it is. Ta-da! That's my fault. Because I forgot to assign it. I just copied it over. Whoopsie. So what was happening there is if the root is not set, when it tries to access the root, it's just going to set the parent game object for a modal or for a menu to be the root, and that will cause all kinds of weird behavior. So let's go to extras, author mode, create, new. There we are. Create a new folder. We'll call this one. I'm curious what will happen. Create folder. it didn't throw an error, I don't think, and it seems to have worked. So let's go ahead and create another new folder. We'll call this one test 2. Interesting. Interesting. It's not doing anything. Am I crazy? Is it like... No, it just didn't make it. Okay. Well. Uh... Oh! You know what it is? It's because I'm closing before I call back. Frack. Okay. Then I guess I just want to do this. I think that will do the same thing. So what I meant when I said, hold on. Oh, right, I can't do that. I have to manually open it up. Create directory. There we go. So the problem there was I was clearing out my name field.text by calling based on button clicked, which calls close, which sets our name field text to be nothing, so that when it tries to return a value, it gets returned an empty string, or it returns an empty string. And that means that it wasn't going to create a new folder because it didn't have any name for the folder. So that was an oversight on my part. Stretch my fingers. I want to get carpal tunnel. It's good when you're working at a computer for a while to take 5 minutes or so and stretch out your fingers and stretch your wrists, stretch all your ligaments, make sure that they're not just cramping up all the time. Let's go ahead and do maximize on play. Start, extras, author mode, create, new, set save path. Let's say plus. I'm going to try doing Dunshire again. Okay, so it will presumably, I'm going to test this actually. Presumably it will just blow away anything that's here. So I'm going to make a test document, call that. Let's make a new one. We're going to call this Dunshire. Okay. Oh, it didn't, okay. Interesting. So I guess if you create a directory on an existing directory, it just doesn't do anything. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Okay, then let's go ahead and try creating a test folder. So test 2. Hit refresh. Nice. So that works pretty much like I would expect. Let's go ahead and select that. Hit save. You are not even close. Huh. Interesting. Oh, that's why. Okay. So we're going to enter a file name, call it Dunshire. Hit save. So Dunshire. Cool. Let's go ahead and pause there. So we have a couple of things that we need to fix. One, we can get rid of these. We don't need these tests anymore. 2, I can make this one line. And 3, what was part 3? I need create file save view. Oh, right. So if we create a folder, I actually want to call refresh so that it updates and you don't have to manually hit refresh. And I guess while we are at it, let's go ahead and say Where are you? Where are you? Here we are. So that's going to create our directory. Where is the event that gets fired? Here we are. On save. Find all references. Let's see. File save view, custom new game dialog. Here we are. This is done. On save path set. We're going to go to definition. Okay, so we're going to say save path is equal to path. But does that mean... No, that's not right. That means that my path is incorrect. So let's go find all references on this again. On save, find all references. Where is it actually called? It's called from file save view, save path, which is what? Okay. Let's peek this definition. Initial path plus local path, which itself should actually... Sorry, it seems like I have an oversight that's basically not doing what I would expect. We're not getting this final separator char. Why would I do that? Let's see, local path, file explorer view, path text, custom, initial path plus local path, file save view. Current path is the initial path plus the local path. Jeez. So that's probably part of the problem then. Crap. It's because I don't... Jeez, no, that's not right. Hold on. Find all references on save path. That is incorrect. It's not giving me what I would expect here. Because current, like, why would I must have gotten rid of the separator char for a reason, but I don't know why. My assumption is that if I try to create a file now in the root of the customs folder without putting it in a subdirectory, it won't behave as expected. Like it'll try to append the slash at the front of it, which is obviously not ideal. That means I'll have to figure out a way to not do that, so that will be fun. Let's see. I'm going to also say create directory menu should be a modal. I'm going to put an X next to that because that's done. And actually, before I do anything else, I am going to say that our name field here and our... Oh, are you serious? Ah, here it is. Text component. Make this white. Okay, so let's see what happens if I try to create stuff with that separator char added back in. Because my assumption of what's going to happen is that the folder will be... Like, we can't really point to folder paths anymore, but that might be fine. Start, extras, author mode, create. Let's go to new, custom game. We'll call this one just test2. Save path. That should be up there. We're going to hit... Let's hit save. Yep, that's what it is. So I guess I need to do a comparison string, I guess. Because what would happen here is like that. That works. Okay. So let's go ahead and hit cancel there. So I need to say, geez, yeah. I don't want to calculate this twice, but that's what it's going to do. So we're going to turn this into a slightly larger get. Okay. Let's see, string current path is equal to current path. Okay. And that's going to be equal to this plus, and then we're going to wrap all of this in a parenthesis. And we're going to say current path, nope, not that, lowercase, current path dot length is greater than 0, question mark. If so, we get a file separator char. If not, we get nothing. Oh, and you're a char, because you're no fun. Ugh. Fine. Char dot, can I do empty? Nope. Wow, just, really. Okay, separator char, which is a char, not a string. And of course I can't specify a nothing string, or a nothing char, I don't think. Char dot, do I have like a nothing? Or empty, or something? Nope. Cool. Isn't that fun? Then we're just gonna do this. Can I do that? Oh my god, that is such a freaking gross thing to do. Create a string and then just immediately grab it. And I can't even do that because that would be nothing. An empty string would have no length. Ugh. Fine. This is just too sloppy. Fine. We're gonna do this. We're just gonna say if current path dot length is greater than 0. We're gonna do this. Otherwise, we're not gonna do that. Get rid of that file manager or file separator stuff. Okay, let's try that. Let's see if that behaves a little bit more like I would expect. Okay. Alright, I'm going to take a drink while it is compiling. Alright, clear all that stuff out, hit play, see what happens. Click through, start, extras, author mode, create, new, test 2, save file, it's going to be in Dunshire, hit save, classic, let's hit create. Okay, no null references. Cool, looks like test 2 was created in the correct spot. Nice. Now let's go ahead and go back, and we're going to try creating a new one. Oh, yep, there's the recycling happening. We're going to make a new one. That is, oh, that also needs to be cleared whenever we start. So we're going to have fun with that. Let's call this one test 3, and we will simply put this here. You are lying to me, except you're not. Shoot. I'm going to try hitting create. I want to see what happens. Did it just... Okay. So it seems like if you have a forward slash, or if you have a slash at the beginning of the path, it will still work. But I think that's actually because it's displaying the incorrect thing, which is going to be not what I would expect. We're going to go back to file, no, not that. Custom new game dialog view on save path set. Save path is equal to path. Right. So we're going to want to say +1 here. So that's I think what we want to do. Let's go ahead and let that compile real quick. Shoot! No, that's not. That means that my custom path is, or my current path, because I screwed that up. File Explorer view, current path. Let's see, file save view. Here we are. Current path, current path, current path. Current path.length is greater than 0. Let's go ahead and peek that. Maybe it's not the current path that I want, but the local path. Maybe. Let's go over here. Hello, Cooley. Welcome back. How you doing today? Things have been a little screwy today, I'm not going to lie. I will squeeze 3 lines out of my code right now. Let's see, local path. This is, I believe, let's see, File Explorer view. Local path should follow local paths, which themselves are strings, so I can see that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and run this. We're gonna let that compile, and I am going to try to see if our local path is empty. If that's the case, then I will pass that instead of using current path. Because current path should probably be the absolute path plus whatever our local path is. Been alright. Uni became super hectic. Then I got very ill. Ugh. Are you feeling better now? Also, that tends to happen. Usually by the end of the year, once you've done all your finals, you'll just get sick for like a week because of all the stress and your body finally being like, okay, we can break now. So we're going to create. Let's go ahead and say new set save path. We'll give it a test name. Save. Okay, there's that. Then actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and close this. I'm going to call this like test 4. Come up here, test 4. Hit save. Cool. Let's go into Dunshire. Hit save. Yep, that's what I was worried about. Freaking piece of crap. So before I do anything else, let's go ahead and hit create. Oh crap, that's not what I wanted to do. All right, let's try this again. New. I'm going to pop this up, and I am going to peek at my modal here. UI. Oh, not view container. Oh right, it is the view. It's the file save explorer that I want. Yeah, I had the flu, turned into a chest infection and pneumonia. Still on the mend, but antibiotics. Well, that's good. Although the flu is a virus, antibiotics don't really work on that. But with infection and pneumonia, obviously you would need that. Okay, so we're going to take a look at our file save explorer. I'm going to go to debug view. We should be able to see what our local paths are. They are 0 currently. I'm going to unpause. I'm going to keep an eye on this. Local path is Dunshire. Right up, it's 0. It's interactions. Okay. I think I know what to do here. No, that's so frustrating. Let me try a couple of things. First up, file save view. So this is where the fun stuff comes in. So we want to debug, or we want to log current path plus file name field.text, and then plus our default extension. That's fine. But I want to know what this is. And current path is always going to be not empty, I believe, because initial path is, yes, that is a absolute path. Okay, so current path cannot be empty, which means that we would instead need to say if local path, oh shoot, really? No, local path, oh, come on. Fine, gotta make these protected. Okay, back here, I want to say local paths. I will get this one day. Local paths dot count is greater than 0, then we'll do that. If it's not, then we will not. So I think that will do what we want. Let's go ahead and test that out. Which does mean that we are going to need to go to new directory view. Incorrect. That is not what I wanted. I actually want. Where did it go? Here it is. Custom new game dialog view. The biotics is for the infection and pneumonia, obviously. Okay. Let's see. I am searching for something that I forgot. Here we are. Get rid of that. Cool. Yeah, I'm doing a really weird like debug session here. The goal for today was essentially to play through the custom adventure tools and see where my pain points are. And like immediately, I just ran into 10 different things that were wrong with it. So they're nothing that require redesign so much as just minor adjustments to make them not terrible. So we're currently stepping through the creation process, and then once that's done, let's see, we'll have the map is not currently recycle deleted nodes. They also use the old drag system, which is a minor thing. The preview image for adventures does not update if the adventure that you're previewing does not have an image. And there's just a bunch of stuff that I gotta make better, make not terrible. Let's go ahead and clear here. Clear that out. Give me a second. Okay. So let's go ahead and do start here. We're going to go to extras, author mode, create. We'll do a new one. Set this up as like test 5 at this point. Save path. Okay, so I'm going to save it in the root. Good. And then I'm going to save it in Dunshire. Good. There we go. Let's go ahead and create. Make sure that that got put in the right spot. Dunshire should have 5. Good. And it did not get put anywhere else. Good. Let's go ahead and stop. I am going to delete some of my tests here because they're kind of getting ridiculous. Alright. Let's try creating it in the root, make sure that that works, and then if that's the case, I will be perfectly satisfied and I won't have to worry about it. Whew. Yeah, it's not really a ton of work. It's just, kind of work that you don't really think about too much. I don't want to say it's busy work, but it's debugging. What are you gonna do? Okay. So let's try like test 2. Creator will be me. Game Times Classic. Let's go ahead and just make it here. Create. Did it create it properly? It did. Cool. So now we have that working in both nested folders and in the root of our custom folder. That's good. And I think the next thing we're going to want to do is come over here to custom new game dialog view. In open, our game name input.txt is supposed to be being reset, but it's not. That's interesting. Why are you not? Perhaps I should set those things on close. Hmm. Certainly annoying. Oh, right, and then I have tabbing between things. I should make sure that that still works. Let's go ahead and override our close here. So I'm going to say override close. Go ahead and say if is open. See, base is probably just going to turn our root off. Yep. Cool. And then before we get to that, I guess we'll go ahead and do all of these things. And save path is also going to be equal to that. I think we will be good. So let's go ahead and let that compile, and we'll give it a test. Okay. It's grunt work. That's not incorrect, I suppose. But, you know, since I'm a one-man army, that means I am the grunt. Okay. That's compiled. We can give it a test. All right. Let's go to extras, author mode, create, new. So this will be test 2. Creator will be test. Save path will be under test 2. Test 2. Hit OK. Create. Fine. Now let's go back. We'll make. Oh, good thing that didn't do anything. We're going to make another one. And this time we will try creating. Okay, so our save path did not get reset, but our game name and creator did. So that's interesting. I guess that means that I want to go to save. Why on earth did I do it this way? Ugh. Why on earth did I do it this way? All right. So we'll say cached save path label dot text is equal to nothing. That's very strange. I have no idea why would I do it like that? That's so weird. It's doing needless search functions. Ugh. Past Chris, what were you thinking? Um, Actually, this whole class could probably be cleaned up quite a bit because it's obviously using Unity text components, not Text Mesh Pro stuff. But then it's like kind of using Text Mesh Pro stuff, so that's even more strange. Let's go ahead and clear that stuff out. Hit play. Okay, let's see here. And let's go to extras, author mode, create. We'll go to new. Let's test this out again. So test 4 or 3, that works too. Test, test, save that, hit create. Let's go back. Author mode, create, new. Okay. I need to set it to default text, don't I? Let's see. Default save path? Is that what I want it to be? Do we really not use that? We don't. Okay then. Weird. What on earth do I set it to then? I just don't have a proper. Wow, really? Jeez, that is a terrible, terrible, terrible menu. Let's see. Create. Create select. No, it's here we are. Custom new game dialog view. Default creator name. Default save path. And then default game type. That is super weird. Let's go ahead and select our. Oh, I can't. Are you? Ugh. Okay, hold on. Turn this on. Custom new game dialog. Let's turn this on. So set safe path. That should be what it is. Let's delete this. Turn this off. We go back to custom new game dialog. Set save path. Let's go back up here. I'm going to rename this to default. Geez, I guess it would be set save path. Let's go ahead and rename this to default. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Just default save. I don't want to call it default save path. I want like default save path text. Let's go ahead and let that compile, and I'm going to reformat this a bit. I'm going to go ahead and say tooltip. Text to display when no save path is set. Is this even used anywhere? No, it is not. Let's go ahead and move this back over to here. Put that up there. Okay. Custom new game dialog view. Blah blah blah. This is all fine, and we set our color to be equal to gray, which is fine as well. Okay, let's try this out. See what we get. Man. Gotta stretch. I feel like for some reason I'm pretty low energy today on the stream. Not really doing anything super exciting. I apologize. I really should have my avatar guy do some sort of dance every now and then just to keep people entertained. Let's go to start. Extras, author mode, create. We're going to make a new one. Same thing, we'll just do whatever. Yeah, that's all fine. Author mode, create, new. Okay, so it... Seriously? Such a weird limitation, okay. So let's go ahead and do that. So I guess we need to set our color label, or our label color to be gray on close for some reason instead of on open. This is all kinds of weird. I don't know why it wouldn't work on enable, but sure, why not? Let's go ahead and delete our unneeded files here. All right. The next thing I think we're going to want to do is, do we want to have default images for or default preview images? No, that wouldn't be a good idea, I don't think. Well, no. Okay. Let me go to classic games list, button, request, blah, 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 initialize, go to definition. Right, here we are. If our game image is equal to null, then we do something there. If our image path is not null or empty, then it should try to load a texture. But interestingly, that's already being done. Curious. File manager, on image loaded. Ah, there it is. That's why. Huh. What is up with this? We set game image, but Is that not actually being used? Oh no, it's because it's right. There we go. That's why. Okay, it's because game image is not null the second time we load in. So I need to set it to be a default. Ugh, that's not great. But it would probably work. So let's go ahead and serialize field private texture 2D um, default image. Image. Okay, let's go ahead and tooltip that. Image to use for preview when no save image is found. Okay. And then what we're going to say is if our path is not null or empty, that's fine. Otherwise, we are going to frack. Double frack. Okay. Triple frack. I'm not sure how to set this. I could just override the image and set game image to be equal to default image. It just means that that other image is going to be lost to the ether, which I guess it's already doing anyway because it's reading that in every single time. So I might as well just say else game image is equal to default image. That's fair. Okay. Let's go to our custom game button. Of course, it's a custom inspector, which means that I'm going to have to do this. Debug mode for the win! Except it's not really a win. I hate doing that. I hate having to go into debug mode to set a field, but it's much faster than me creating a custom inspector to handle this. So I'm going to make a default image of probably just solid, I think. Probably just that for the most part. Let's go out of debug, hit OK, hit save, and let's see if that fixes it. So the goal here is to have custom adventures that don't have preview images, to not have their preview images get overridden with whatever that button was already holding, basically. Let's go to start, we'll go to extras, author mode, create. So you can see that Dunshire here is empty right now, which is good. And then if we go back and then go back to create, now it should stay empty. Before, what would happen is because these prefabs get shuffled back into a pool and then pulled out, if the old Zork prefab was used for the new Dunshire prefab, it would retain the reference to this image. But we don't want that, so we have to force it to refresh pretty much every time, which is fine. Okay. Test custom adventure set in the hills of Dunshire. So that is that issue. Let me go ahead and pause. Cross that off my list. Save path doesn't handle subdirectory paths correctly. That is correct. Create directory menu should be a modal. That is also done now. The adventure preview image now does update. And let's see. The next couple of things are nothing too crazy. Let's look at the map not recycling deleted room nodes. So we'll unpause. Let's go to create. We'll go to Dunshire. Go to the map. Still getting this really annoying thing. And you're just gonna seriously like quit out here. Wow. Okay. I was like, what is happening? Sometimes it seems like it just refreshes them incorrectly, which is very, very annoying. Maybe I should have like a frame delay between when the connections are created, because like clearly you can see they're not updating as they should. They seem as if they're being done like our width for this label was half of what it is, which is about the length of the default one, but what are you going to do? Okay, so the main thing that we want to do here is, let's go to, actually here, let's cancel this. I'm going to turn off exit room. Okay. Okay, well, maybe I was wrong. Okay, warnings do seem to update, so I guess I was wrong before. Cool. But we still have this problem of if I create a new room and then I delete it, boom, it's still there, not recycled. So let's go ahead and stop playing. We're gonna open up our custom game map view, or actually no, we're gonna open up custom. Geez, it might be under CG room view. I am not sure. Yes, I'm guessing this is it. Let's see. Delete. Let's see. Oh, close delete button. Here we are on delete. Click. Go to definition, game modal, string.format, blah, 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 blah. On modal option selected. Okay, if option is equal to 0, we should reset whatever the starting room is, if this was the starting room. And then we're going to want to remove the room, and then on close, when you go to definition, that should refresh the map. Interesting. Oh, that's why. Okay. I think I get it now. So what's happening is when I refresh the map in my attempts earlier to prevent a lot of extra work being done, basically recycling all of the existing nodes and then regenerating them. Instead, what I did is I tried to simply have it refresh nodes that don't exist yet, but that means that it's going to ignore nodes that should be gone. So let's see here. Or am I doing a hard refresh? I am not doing a hard refresh. Okay. So that's not really that useful. Not exactly ideal. So we need to go to generate nodes, go to definitions. If hard refresh, we recycle everything. But if we don't, then we don't. And instead, I'm curious. Room node, what do you have on you? Do you have something useful I can use? You do have room data. Okay. So I'm going to do this for int I equals 0, I is less than. Actually, no, we're going to do that backwards. Let's see, nodes dot count -1, I is greater than or equal to 0, I minus minus. So we're going to iterate backwards through our existing nodes, and I'm going to check to see if they should exist. So I'm going to say if author session, I'm assuming I should have this, dot room. Do I have like a room exists? So this will be nodes of I dot room data dot room ID. Oh, really? Why does it return a list? That's super awkward. Peak definition there. We return first or default, which that should not actually be what we want to use. Okay. I'm going to change that. So we're going to do a for loop. For int I equals 0, I is less than rooms.count I plus plus. We're going to say if rooms of I dot ID is equal to ID, return rooms of I, else we will return null. Oh, okay. Wait, what? Okay, so we're going to say does not equal null, I guess. I'm sorry. If it is null. So if that equals null, then we're going to say nodes of I dot game object. Did that backwards because of course I did. Say not destroy. Pool manager dot recycle nodes of I dot game object. We'll also say nodes of I. Do I have a cleanup function that I call there? Nope. Should be fine. I guess I will peek this to make sure I don't have anything that I'm not expecting. Connection point, initialize. Okay, I think we're good. I am going to need all of this. I'm going to have to... We're going to need this. Okay. So I'm going to come up here. And we're going to say at the very end, nodes dot remove at I. Okay. I'll say nodes of I. Copy that. Paste that in. Not that. There we go. Minus equals, minus equals, minus equals, minus equals. And then this is going to be dot remove all listeners. Okay. I think we're good. That should properly clean up all of our nodes. I'm going to comment this as well. Recycle nodes that have been deleted. Okay. So now when we delete a room node, it should, when you go back to the menu or to the map menu, it should properly refresh and just get rid of itself. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clear this out. Play. And if this works, we'll probably call that a day. I have a phone call that I need to make. And let's see. Author mode, create. Okay, so that's working. Let's go over to Dunshire map. Everything seems to work. Let's go ahead and make a new room. Drag that around. Delete. Yes. Haha! Wow! Really? What is going on here? Oh my. So wow. No. That is not okay. Jeez. So let me see if that was a fluke. Yeah, that's not great. Like, what's going on here? What is happening? It is clearly not finding the correct transforms. So that's not great. Oh my goodness, what is going on here? Oh dear. Okay, so clearly recycling is not all I need to do. There is something missing. Let's go to recycle. Oh geez. Oh geez. I need to delete any connections to it too. Ugh. Okay. I might. Okay. Let me go ahead and peek this. Recycle connections. Recycle nodes. I index no dragging minus equals all this. So that's all. That's all what I would expect. So I think what I need to do here, I am removing that, right? I am. Super weird. Okay. I think I need to have functions that just remove unused connections and nodes, or nodes that shouldn't exist and connections that shouldn't exist by association. So let's go ahead and move this to, I guess, put this here, private void delete delete remove. Ugh. I guess I want to call this recycle, don't I? Yeah, so we'll say recycle deleted nodes. Paste that in. So we'll go ahead and say recycle nodes that have been deleted. And then I'll go ahead and just say recycle deleted nodes. Make sure that we get rid of all that. Then I'm going to put a to do here for to do clear connections as well. Okay. So I'm going to call that a day. There's still a little bit of work that I need to do on that, but I have a phone call that I need to make soon. So announcements. Nothing really coming up right away. So we should be back at our normal time on Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And yeah, that should be it for me. So, as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.